name is Jason McGinn, McGinn's Woodshop. I want to show you a design I made making a fitted lid box for pens, Streamline pens and down. So if you have like a slimline pen, it would fit in there as well. So this will be used as an instructional video for Inventables.com, and it'll also serve as a video on my YouTube channel, McGinn's Woodshop. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how you get one of these made in about an hour. I'm going to use a 6-inch by 10-inch piece of wood. The thickness doesn't actually matter too much, but I wouldn't use anything less than a 3/4 inch piece of wood. And the reason for that is because the depth and everything is within the cut. As you can see in this example, I used 1-inch stock, which cut my lid to be 1 inch thick, and it fits together and just makes a thicker case. The other thing I find is if you use plywood, you can increase the speed rate and the depth. Got this piece all set up and clamped down and ready to go. We're going to want to zero the bit out. I like to leave a little bit of room from the edge. I wouldn't go up any more than 1/2 inch away from the edges, but I do like to leave a little bit of a buffer room, and that's just for any error or anything that might occur. So from here, I've got my bit set. I'll turn on the system and I will go through the preparation settings and show you how to do that, and then we'll go ahead and get this thing carved out. With the pen case medium all inside file. Basically what we're going to do is go over this entire file, give you some understanding to the steps and settings that are needed to ensure that your cut is proper. So the first thing we want to do is check the depth of each cut. The first cut is just simply an outline cut, and that's just to know where to cut the box out after we have this established from the X-Carve. So for this, we do an outline on the outside, and we make it a depth of 1 pass. So we just need to make a pass there just to see exactly where this is going to be. We could put this all the way through and it will cut it out completely for us, but it adds a substantial amount of time that we just don't need to have there when we can cut it out with a tool. So we'll just ensure that's set to 0.03 inch for depth, and we'll move on. And this inner here, this inner setting here, you want this to be on fill. With the fill option selected, we can ensure that it's at 0.25 inch or 1/4 inch. Then we move on to the pen, which is set to 0.57 inches. You might think that's a little deep for a pen, but you have to take into account 1/4 inch of it is already recessed. So this recesses down, and then on top of that, we have going down even further the pen shape. So technically it's only from 1/4 inch past the 1/2 inch. So now we're going to move to the next one and just make sure that as well is at 1/4 inch. Because as you can see, this lip here will go down 1/4 inch. This will stay up 100% of the height, which is 0, so it won't go down at all, which will fit in perfectly to this 1/4 inch depth here with a 0 clearance on the outer rim. And now what you'd also want to note is that this oval right here is a little bit larger than this one here. And that's so this part coming up here will fit into this comfortably, and if it won't be too tight. If we make those exactly the same size, it'll be like doing an inlay and it just won't come out, and it'll be really hard to take apart. So then the remainder of the depth of the pen, which is 0.170, will be on the bottom part, and that way when you do open the case, it's easy to pick the pen out of the case, and you're not fiddling and trying to get it out of the hole that, say in this case, would be very deep. So with everything set and verified, we'll go ahead and check our material settings and make sure our material is 10 inches by 6 inches and it's a 1/4 inch deep. Now the depth of the actual piece, it could be an inch here and it won't make a difference. It'll still fit together the same way. So if you have different thickness stock, don't worry about the thickness so much as your X and Y axis to ensure a minimal of 10 by 6. Depth per pass, because I'm using oak here, I slowed it down and I'm going 0.03 of an inch per pass, and then
my feed rate would be going 28 inches a minute. Now when I was using plywood, I pushed this up to 0.035 inches and also feed rate of 30 inches a minute. Once we're sure about our material settings, we'll go ahead and check our machine, make sure our bit is set to 0.25, and we're not getting any errors saying that the bit size is too small over here. One last little check, and what we'll do is we're going to hit Show Tool Paths, and that allows us to see the tool paths that will be taken and ensure that what we're expecting to get will be what we're getting. If you look at it straight down, you can see where that pen will be, where the extra cuts on the pen will be. So now that we're all comfortable with the settings and everything, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and click the Carve button. With that, it'll confirm 0.75 inches thickness. We say yes. If your material is secured, go ahead and confirm that here. We're going to use a 1/4 inch bit, and now we'll move into home position and get everything set up and get ready to rock. So confirm home position. We're going to raise the bit. We turn the spindle on. We'll confirm the spindle's on, and we'll start carving.
So I've gone ahead and used a square in order to line up where I'm going to start my cuts on the table saw. And of course I will go on the waste side, which I could mark as well with my pencil, and put the blade on the inside of this. So we'll go ahead and cut these out on the table saw, and then we'll take it from there. Lastly, with the chisel, I'm just going to come right up to it, referencing off this face the X-Carve made, and pivoting across the grain to leave a mark. I'll do the same thing on the end grain. Again, reference from the face, the X-Carve left, and pivot up to my other point. Even with just making those marks, this is how easily it all comes off at this point. Even with just making those points and dropping this piece, the corner pretty much broke off. I didn't even barely push in with the chisel. I just made the marks. So go ahead and do that to every side. There's the pen case, made from oak. You can have this made out of any material you'd like, as long as it's 3/4 inch thick, and I'd go with 6 inch by 10 inch stock. However you want to add your clasps and finish how it affixes together and the hardware for it, that's up to you. This file will get you this far. And remember, there's a link down below in the show notes where you can get a downloadable PDF to print off the instructions on the steps to take, because I know sometimes you're in your wood shop and you don't really have a screen available, or you're like me and find it easier to learn off a piece of paper. Keep on keeping on, everyone.